Okay, so we're starting this reading, my favorite way to start a reading, with two quotes, I guess, from books. This is Leo Buscaglia's Bus 9 to Paradise. And let's pick out, just randomly. Really, life is simple. It is we who are complex. Of course, when I say this, I am challenged with the naivety of such a statement. The retort I most often hear is, well, that may be true of your life, but there's nothing simple about mine. I am tempted to say that if life is not simple, we may be responsible for its complexities, and if we desire it to be otherwise, it's never too late. Of course, we should strive to become all that we can and do all that is possible to make the world a better place in which to grow in joy. We should strive to obtain those things which we feel we need to make our lives more comfortable and satisfying, but we must never allow those things to dominate. When the clutter, anxiety, and complications threaten to hem us in, we should bring to mind the words of Thoreau. Simplify, simplify, and if even this fails, we might learn from the children and go fly kites. Okay, interesting. And then the other message I already picked out before I started. It's from the book called Sexuality, Love, and Partnership from the Perspective of Spiritual Science, and this is the work of Rudolf Steiner. Okay. We love Rudolf Steiner. So this is a Gothy poem, I guess. Spiritual Aspects of the Woman's Question. Everything transient is but a parable. All that's inadequate here finds fulfillment. The indescribable, here it is done. The eternal feminine bears us aloft. So this is a bit from Steiner. It is nonsense to analyze this saying in a trivial way. It is interpreted rightly in the sense of Goethe and true mysticism when one says, anyone who knew something of noble spiritual culture also pointed to the feminine character of the soul, and precisely from this masculine culture did the words, the eternal feminine bears us aloft, emerge. Thus the greater world, the cosmos, was pictured as a man and the soul, which was fertilized by the wisdom of the cosmos as the feminine. And what then is this peculiar way of thinking which has developed in men over the centuries, namely logic? So what is this way of thinking called logic? If we wish to look into the depths of its nature, then we must see something feminine, the imagination, which must be fertilized by the masculine. I don't know. I don't know what you're saying, but okay. Let's see if I can safely, yes. So I'm just going to read this quickly before I forget. We have the card here, Trinity, which I keep not knowing what it means because I don't have the booklet with me, but I found it on the website, and I'll read a little bit. The soul message: from the depths of the stars to the luminous flowers in nature, the threefold mystery of the divine feminine is limitless. Deep within the vastness of the universe, that is where you will find her. Nestled within the cave of your heart, that is where you will find her. Flooding all and loving all, her beauty lives within your soul. Open your life to her infinite kiss of peace. This is for everyday encounters. Arise and seize each day, breathing in the rainbow-colored essence of green Tara, the embodiment of the entire pantheon of triple goddesses. With everyone you encounter throughout your day, allow your triple goddess rainbow light to radiate directly into their hearts. Envelop everyone you meet with her womb of infinite wisdom and compassion. Demonstrate the truth that indeed everything in life is a miracle. And nature's healers are natura, the soul of nature. Okay, interesting. Let's get into the reading. We have, again, this just keeps showing up, but we have the star card underneath the deck, healing, illuminating. We have all nines. Today is the full moon in Scorpio. And 9 is an end of a cycle, not in tarot, but in numerology. So when you have like life cycles, like 9 is the last year of a cycle, and then you start again at 1, if you know what I'm talking about. So we have the 9 of Wands, we have the 9 of Swords, we have the 9 of Cups. We are missing the 9 of Coins. So there's kind of a lack of earth. And that's what we had yesterday. I believe there was a lack of earth. So there's kind of this need to grasp onto something. And yesterday was all about the unconscious. We had the moon, we had the 2 of Swords. There was a difficulty with understanding kind of what's happening around us and getting triggered. And speaking of getting triggered, we have anger here, with releasing anger from the past sets me free in the present. So the 9 of Wands to me is a card that very much wants to get somewhere but is struggling, knowing that there are obstacles on its path, knowing that we have certain things we have to surmount, certain difficulties. The 9 of Cups is where we're wanting to get to. It's wish fulfillment. It's that emotional satisfaction with our lives, feeling like we've reached the peak. And in between that, the kind of tools that we can use, the tools that we need to be aware of, are the 3 of Coins, cooperation, networking, working with others, collaborating on projects, finding people that you can connect with, finding people who will be of service to your cause, to your life. And the 8 of Wands here is all about communication. So it's interesting. We have the 8 and the 9. All about communication, things moving really fast, and developments that you didn't foresee kind of take off. Timelines start to shift once you align yourself with the right situations, the right circumstances. You know, there's that saying, it was just the wrong place, the wrong time. But this is the right place and the right time. Happy to tell you that. But you are shifting through like a difficult energy where there's some obstacles. It's basically just saying this is preparation. That's what it says at the bottom. So this is a preparatory period. It might feel really difficult, but it's preparing you for the next. And I wanted some more information about the full moon. We got the card of the 9 of Swords with despair. 9 of Swords is basically your mind wreaking havoc, your mind overcomplicating, right? We started this reading with that really beautiful quote from that book about simplifying and how life can be very simple, that we do complicate things and we do add our own kind of tragedy to things that we may be able to decrease. We may be able to soften the blow. You are being called upon to look within, to explore the realms of self. This is the epic unwritten. It is now time. Movement, number 11. Yes, 11 is a very spiritual number. It's a master number. Looking at 11, you can also reduce it to a 2, which would make it more about communication, collaboration, cooperation, partnership. And we're talking about movement, and the 8 of Wands to me is very much about movement, and it says speed at the top. So things are just kind of moving much faster, right? We're shifting timelines. We're on a different kind of trajectory now. But it does require you to release, to work through any obstacles. This could be like the way you're seeing things, the way you're dramatizing things. Releasing anger from the past sets you free in the present. In the words of a really good friend of mine, forgiveness is the quickest shortcut to freedom. It's so fast it feels like cheating. So that was one of the last things he said to me. So I take that with like so much respect and so much gratitude that he left me with those words before he passed on. So those are your messages for today. I want to just kind of see if I can tie them into what we were reading in the beginning. Talked a lot about the eternal feminine, the feminine with the Trinity triple goddess. The feminine, I guess, could be seen here with the star, literally this woman who's kind of bathing in the light of the star, and the feminine as a spiritual aspect of woman's question. let's give this another try and read this quickly. This is an important point. Men have played a greater part because materialism is oriented towards external culture. The external culture is a man's culture because it was meant to be a material culture. Okay, let me just remind you, or let you know, Rudolf Steiner was writing in the 1800s. So some of this is going to sound really outdated, but there is like essential knowledge or spiritual truth that we can find maybe through some of this. Because materialism is oriented towards external culture, this external culture is a man's culture because it was meant to be a material culture. But we must also be aware that in the development of world history, one cultural epoch gives way to another, and that this one-sided masculine culture must find its completion through that which lives in every man, that we sensed precisely in the age of this masculine culture. That is why, when the mystics spoke from the innermost depths of their souls, they defined the soul as something feminine. Right, psyche. Psyche is the feminine soul. Hence you find everywhere that the soul receptive to the world is compared with a woman, and it provides the basis for Goethe's words in the chorus Mysticus. Let me reread it. Everything transient is but a parable. All that's inadequate here finds fulfillment. The indescribable, here it is done. The eternal feminine bears us aloft. Yeah. So, I mean, what does that tell us? To get in touch with our feminine nature? What is the feminine nature? I mean, is it even necessary to put a gender on these types of themes? I don't think so. It's talking not necessarily about gender, it's talking about soul. Like the softer aspect of a human being is their soul. The more elegant aspect of a human being, the more refined. And often in these really difficult situations, that's when your most refined characteristics can shine through the dark night of the soul. Your feminine aspects can really come through, both to illuminate your path, but also other people's paths who are lost or who are struggling. There is a need to go within. What is going within? Soul searching. We are soul searching through the deepest, heaviest, densest, darkest night of the soul. And it is possible to get to our wish fulfillment, which is wild. I mean, this card can be so superficial if you just kind of think of it as like, I want this, I'm gonna get it, haha, like manifesting. And people who put all that like law of attraction and they give it too much worth in their lives, like, I think it's important to ground yourself. This is not a superficial card. This is a card of there's deep, deep emotional despair, and we are somehow shifting this. Developments are happening fast, in the right place, in the right time, connecting with the right people, finding your tribe, getting the things that you need and want, releasing the anger from the past, reconnecting with your soul, reconnecting with your inner depths, healing, cleansing out the cycle. You're here, you are the star. You're able to heal yourself through that transparency. You can heal others. Thank you for watching.